Hi LEGO fans, I'm back with another set from LEGO Creator Expert, and this time it's a big one. Not necessarily big in terms of part count, but certainly big in stature. There comes a time in every LEGO collector's life when your LEGO city grows so big you have to start generating your own power. And with that in mind, LEGO just released a new set. Today I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing set number 10268, the Vestas Wind Turbine from LEGO Creator Expert. Although set number 10268 was released in November 2018, it's not actually a new set. It's a reboot of set number 4999, which came out in 2008. That set came with 815 pieces, and this set comes with 826, which is an incredibly low amount of parts for a LEGO set that costs $200. The crazy high price to part ratio can be partially explained by the fact that this is a power function set. That means we're getting a battery box, a medium motor, a couple of light bricks, and some extension wires. The other factor we must take into account when we evaluate the price is the size of this model. The diameter of the blades on the wind turbine is 28 inches. And with the blades fully extended, the Vestas wind turbine stands 39 inches high. So if you're thinking about buying this set, you want to make sure you've got enough display space first. The really good news if you're concerned about display space is that the footprint of this set is actually quite small. It's the height and the span of the blades that makes this set huge. But if you've got a fairly low level LEGO city, then that shouldn't really matter, so long as you've got about 3 feet of vertical clearance. Now this is of course the Vestas wind turbine, and if you're like me, you're probably wondering who the heck Vestas is. Vestas describes itself as the energy industry's global partner on sustainable energy solutions. We all like to think of ourselves as eco-friendly, and that's why I make videos made from blocks made from oil. But the good news is we've got a couple of trees in this set made out of plants, so we can truly say we are eco-warriors. Getting back to the point, Vestas is a company that makes wind turbines. Each year, Vestas wind turbines generate about 97 gigawatts of electricity. They generate about 17% of the 539 gigawatts of electricity, which comes from wind turbines installed all over the world. I can't help but feel like I've just spent $200 of my own money to promote Vestas. Over on the back of the box, we get a really nice side view of the wind turbine and some close-up product photography to show us what we're getting inside the box. The 826 piece part count includes 3 minifigures. We've got 2 Vestas employees who are maintaining the wind turbine. They also have a bunch of maintenance equipment and a van to keep it in. I'm sure it runs on discarded lollipop sticks or something. There's also a little house to demonstrate how the electricity is used, and a female minifigure and her dog. We're reminded that this is a power function set and it contains everything needed to make the wind turbine spin. Everything of course except batteries. You didn't think this thing was going to generate its own electricity, did you? Power functions not only enable the blades to turn, but they also power 2 light bricks on the outside of the little house. Just like a real wind turbine, you can angle the blades to maximise the efficiency of the spin. I'm pretty sure real wind turbines can also be turned to angle them to the wind, but it's not clear whether you can do that or not in this LEGO set. Imagining how the wiring might work inside, I'm going to go with a no. Truly at $200, this set is crazy expensive. It does come in a big box, and here is a Brickhead's twin pack for comparison. But when you pick up the box, you get the impression that it's not quite full. It's almost like they've made the box a little bit bigger to make it look more impressive. And that's not cool. So why would I spend $200 of my own money on an 826 piece LEGO set? 2 reasons really. It's very tall and very wide, and it's going to look impressive. But I also have the perfect place within my LEGO city setup for it. If you don't have a very specific need for a wind turbine, this might not be a set that you want to consider. It's time for some unboxing action, so let's open this up and see what we've got inside. Quickly addressing my earlier concerns, the box is about 2/3 full. It's not quite as empty as I'd feared, and the box choice was probably right. Here's everything that came inside the box. We've got 12 bags of LEGO and no numbers. This is gonna be a really long day. We also have a 32 by 32 green base plate and a 150 page instruction booklet. I'm going to go ahead and build set number 10268, the Vestas wind turbine, and today this is going to be a 90-second speed build. So here's the completed 10268 Vestas Wind Turbine. As you can probably tell, this is ludicrously tall and way bigger than my studio was designed to handle. In fact, this shot makes me very unhappy and makes me want to invest in some more equipment. But I digress. Later on in the video, I'll position this in LEGO City and hopefully you'll get a much more pleasing perspective. For now, let's get a much tighter angle. It's far from perfect and I don't expect to win any Academy Awards for this, but hopefully it gives you some idea of the scale of this build and also an opportunity to hear the noise it makes. It's not too bad, but I'm sure it'll start to get on your nerves after a while. We're going to take a quick tour of the wind turbine, starting with the lower level first. Then we'll take a look at the fan assembly, the van which I almost totally forgot about, the minifigures, and we'll finish up by finding this a home within my LEGO City. The wind turbine is mounted on a hill that sits directly behind this cute little house. Now I'm not sure this is where I would build a house, and I'm sure it's meant to be illustrative of how power is used and not a prime piece of real estate. The hill essentially is an elaborate cover for the battery box. It's made up of some of those large pieces which are usually used to create rock faces and usually come in grey. I think this is a first for the green colour in this set. The detail on the hill isn't fantastic and it could definitely be made to look a lot better with some different coloured green cheese slopes. We do have a garden bench complete with some red flowers, and as promised on the outside of the box we've got some of these trees that are made out of plant materials. I've got quite a few of these trees from the 1980s, so it'll be interesting to see how these fare over time. Around the back of the hill is where things get a little bit more interesting. As you can see, there's a lot of hollow space here, but there's also a large battery box. In the middle you can see where the wind turbine connects to the base, and it really is held there quite firmly. I've been moving this thing around and I've really had no concerns handling it. As the battery box is buried inside the hill, there's a convenient on-off switch just here. Interestingly, this only allows the blades to turn one way. Peering underneath the hood, you can see that the yellow on and off switch is connected directly to the battery box. By default, the blades only spin one way, and there is a bar here to prevent you from putting the battery box into reverse. To be honest, it runs absolutely fine either way, so you could easily hook up a remote control unit to this. It's not going to grind to a halt if you try and engage it in reverse. Power flows from the battery box to the medium motor at the top of the wind turbine thanks to some very long cables. I believe those cables are new for 2018 and were possibly developed for this set. There is a little inspection door and you would expect to be able to see the cables through this, but if you open it up, we just get disappointment. The other piece of hidden cabling runs from the battery box to the house and powers the two lights at the front. This is partially obscured, but as you can see here, there is a bit of visible cable if you look from the side. Frankly, that's a little bit sloppy and I think the design could be better. But ultimately most people are going to view this set from the front, so I guess that doesn't really matter unless you're like me and have OCD. The two lights are mounted on the front of the house and are powered by the same battery box. These seem to be LEDs, which is good because they're energy efficient and they shine really brightly. In fact, let's kill the lights and see how bright they are. Slightly unsurprisingly, my camera had a hard time dealing with that, but hopefully you get the picture of how bright the lights are. They actually give off quite a nice glow and light the model up nicely. In front of the house is a garden area complete with paved patio, a little seating area to enjoy a glass of organic Chardonnay, and there's even a fenced off area for the dog to do, well, dog stuff. It's a similar picture on the other side with the lawned area and some red flowers. And out in front we've got a working mailbox. The lounge chairs are a really unusual build and make use of wheel arches to create the back and the arms. Up on the top we've got a pitched and tiled roof complete with chimney, and on the other side we have a flat roof complete with satellite dish. The interior of the house is pretty sparse and very difficult to see. With the roof carefully removed, you may be able to make out the table lamp. And over on the other side we have a kitchen complete with range and sink. Also inside the house we have a small bed, but honestly that's everything. The tower on which the wind turbine stands is pretty unremarkable, and if my math is right it's about 72 studs high. The main body of the wind turbine is mounted on a turntable which allows for almost 360 degrees of rotation. So despite my earlier concerns, you can angle this into the wind. It's not in any way sophisticated, but there is a mechanism to stop you going all the way around. And that's good because there are wires that trail up the inside and you don't want them getting all tangled up. Vestas has some free advertising on either side of the wind turbine, and there's a convenient access panel on the back to reveal the medium power functions motor. As you can probably see, cable management is not one of the high points of this set. The panels at the top are fairly loosely attached, and with some manipulation you can just about get all of the cabling inside. Around the front is the business end of the wind turbine. This is where the blades are attached, and there is a nice mechanism in here which stops it going crunch and breaking if you just happen to stop the blades. There is some simple gearing inside to slow down the motion of the blades, and if I stop the blades you can see there's a white gear which is still spinning. I'm not really a LEGO Technic expert, so I don't know the name of that gear, but it does do a good job of protecting the mechanism. The 3 blades are mounted on a central spindle and don't actually rotate, but you can undo these like so. They're only on 2 pins and there are 3 holes there, so you can actually reattach them at a slightly different angle, just like so. Just like a real wind turbine, the blades have a very specific shape. You can see we've got a profile along the blade here and they're very flat at the back. As wind turbines are designed to rotate in one direction only, it does make sense that LEGO blocked off the reverse gear on the battery box. So that is set number 10268, the Vestas Wind Turbine, possibly the most difficult LEGO set ever to film. I'm looking forward to setting this up in my LEGO city, but before we do, let's take a quick look at those minifigures. So here are the 3 minifigures that come with the Vestas Wind Turbine. For the most part, these are very generic minifigures. The exclusive we have here is the torso for the Vestas employees. As you can see, they've got a white top with a V printed on it. I guess V stands for very imaginative. These guys are both wearing plain dark blue pants. Then we have that white torso with the dark blue V, and the faces have a single expression, there's no alternate on the back. These are also pretty generic expressions that are used in many other sets. For example, I've seen the guy on the left very recently. He was actually my minifigure of the year from the LEGO Advent Calendars and appeared in the LEGO City Advent Calendar. From the back, these guys are totally identical, and the only other notable feature is the dark blue safety helmet. The homeowner is a cute but otherwise unremarkable minifigure made up of common parts. We've got these plain light blue pants on down there, and then this top with the apples and pears, which we've definitely seen many times before. It's a really nice top, and we've got some nice printing there for the buttons at the front and also at the back, but it has been used many times before. Really cute expression there. I like the smile, and again that is a single expression, no alternate on the back, and then we've got this rather nice brown hairpiece there, but again that's a very commonly used minifigure element, and we've got nothing special here. Here's the van which comes with the set and helps to bulk out some of that feeble part count. Apart from the printed tiles that say Vestas, this is a pretty generic looking white van. The construction is pretty basic, with a large chassis piece making up the majority of the base, and 4 pretty basic LEGO wheels. It's all pretty much what you'd expect to find on this kind of vehicle. It looks like we've got a couple of side mirrors made from cheese slopes which are positioned too low on the vehicle to be useful. I mean, why would you put those beneath the window? There's a front grille complete with headlights, and the yellow license plate suggests this might be a European style vehicle. Sometimes LEGO likes to sticker or print the set number on the license plates, but not in this case. There is a removable roof panel which suggests the minifigures can sit inside, but the sparse interior consisting of 1 seat and a steering wheel suggests this is a one-man vehicle. Yes, it looks like our moustached friend is going to be taking a very eco-friendly walk home. On the roof we've got some communications equipment which I guess is going to be essential to people who maintain wind turbines. It also looks like we've got a ventilation system. Thankfully, this fairly generic white van has another trick up its sleeve. We can open up the back doors and reveal a toolkit inside. This has a sliding rack which helps you to store the tools inside the van, although it can be a little bit tricky to get this inside. The bulk of what you see here provides a groove for the tool storage rack to fit inside the van. Apart from that, we have a detachable welding rig and a small box of tools. It's possible these might be gas cylinders rather than welding equipment, but to be honest I don't know too much about tools to build wind turbines. Apart from explaining the presence of the 2 Vestas workers, this is pretty unremarkable. So I did promise to show you the wind turbine up and running in LEGO City. This is not an area of the studio that I usually film, mainly because I don't get enough time to spend on this, and I'm not that proud of it as it is now. I do have a town section, but this is currently being torn up to make way for modular buildings, so we do have the wind turbine over here in what we call the wilderness section. This is unfinished and I definitely need to buy some more base plates, but what we've got is a park sitting behind the wind turbine, and as we move along we've got a kind of camping area, and then we have some water which is going to flow down a river into the sea. This isn't exactly as I want it to be, but it's a convenient place to store models related to outdoor themes. It's particularly good for the people packs like Fun in the Park and Wilderness Adventures. And then we have this beach scene with the old fishing store and a load of other stuff going on. But focusing back on the wind turbine, one of the things that I found really annoying with this was reaching around the back to turn the thing on. So I made a couple of modifications. Now we have a switch on top which can turn it on very easily. I had to make a couple of tweaks to the housing, and this isn't the most elegant solution, but it's a lot easier to use. I took a power function switch, mounted it on the top, rerouted the cables, and then added a handle. From there I used a load of foliage elements to try and hide the switch. I don't think this is the perfect solution, and it may not stay in this section of LEGO City, but for now, until I've got my modular buildings in place, this is going to do just fine. I also thought it would be fun to add this rather large eagle to the top of the wind turbine. Anybody recognise where that guy comes from? So overall, the Vestas Wind Turbine is a fun but somewhat expensive addition to your LEGO City. If you don't have somewhere to display this, it's probably not a good model for you to go out and buy. But if you do have the space and the money, because let's face it, this is very expensive for what it is, it's a very impressive addition to your LEGO collection. The thing I really like about this is that it has a very small footprint. That makes it very easy to incorporate into a display so long as you have the vertical clearance. So that was set number 10268, the Vestas Wind Turbine from LEGO Creator Expert. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing, speed build and review video, and a sneak peek at LEGO City. If this is something you'd like to see more of in the future, then be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Thanks a million for checking out today's review, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next build video.
Yeah.